Hey guys, it's 3D back with another video, and today we will be ranking towers in entry point defense, in my opinion at least. But just so it's not all talk, I have music running in the background so you guys don't get bored as much, I guess. But yeah. Okay, so we have the tiers SS, S, A, B, C, D, and F. Absolute garbage being the worst, SSS being the best, as that was probably already explained. And to start off, I think we can already assume that Scout and Marksman will be in the rank of absolute garbage because, number one, Scout's max damage at level 7 is like 80 damage essentially every 0.85 seconds. So it's not as good as it should be. Or it's a little, I'm not good at these. Oh well, we'll move on. Golden Shotgunner would probably be an F since the max damage is 500 every 2.5 seconds, but it does have a spread, so that can hit multiple enemies, so I don't think it should be in absolute garbage. Next we'll have Soldier. This should go in D-ish, because number one, fire rate can go stupidly fast and other stuff. Stunner. I'm debating between F and absolute garbage right now because the main reason you would use the stunner, like in any case scenario, if you don't have good towers, you'd use it for basic rounds, which can usually perma-stun anything if it's at max level. But if you actually do have good towers, there's not really anything you can do about it because they don't freeze bosses whatsoever, so not helpful at all. Okay, let's go with Assassin. Okay, so Assassin does have a first strike bonus, which is why he'd probably be considered at a C to a B for me. But it's only that because his bleed doesn't stack. He does have a bleed though, so he's either a rank A to C. So I'm probably just gonna put him at a B for now. We'll move them along later. Okay, let's go with Capitalist. Capitalist is a moneymaker, but damage output is better than a Scout, so it would probably be at somewhere around a C. So it can do more than a Scout than a Scout can. Oh my god. Rogue. Honestly, I would put this at a D to a C or an F because, I mean, the damage is okay. It also attacks fast, but the main overall reason I put it at this is because it makes the game too lag prone. I'm pretty sure it's like 0.05 game time seconds goes down every single time you have a rogue at max level that shoots, combined with bleed towers. And you just don't want that delay to happen in your game. Okay, so Electrician, Stun. I put that at around a C to a B because of how much damage output it does every 3 seconds, which is pretty good. So, yeah, I'd probably put that as C. It's probably higher C, though. Now we're basically just doing Golden Pistolman. So, Golden Pistolman would probably be also at a C because of the money outcome that makes, plus the shots, and the damage is also pretty high. In fact, I also think it's higher than the Rogue, if not, I don't remember. But basically, every damage you do, you get $2 if you do not have the double cash, so it's pretty good. Demolitioner. The area output's pretty good. Not gonna lie. Sometimes that area output is a little too much because it also lags the in-time server. So, probably a D. Coordinator. I'd probably put that at a B to an A because it has a range buff and it can also do damage if it needs. But it also has a damage buff if it needs to as well. So yeah, it's pretty upper. It's pretty mid A in my opinion. Hellfire. We'll talk about this. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Hellfire is a really good tower. I'm not gonna lie because the burn damage outcome that makes is 800, I think, per second. So, hmm, hmm. The damage outcome is 4,000 and also has a blast radius. But then again, the particles can lag the game exponentially for any player that usually plays it if they have all particles on. So, probably move it down to a C. Okay, Server Farmer is 100% SS because number one, doesn't require an event, and number two, you can easily get it. Not to mention there's 8 of them, and it's mainly just the building marks of the game if you don't have any money. But just because of that, I'm also going to put Workshop at A because the money outcome is more than the Workshop, but if you have auto collect and you have double cash, it gives less than the actual server farm. I would know since I had both. Also, you can only attain it from an event. Heavy would probably be at a C to a B because, not gonna lie, it's also pretty good, but then again, it's not as lag prone as the Rogue, but it's still pretty laggy. So 800 damage every 0.1 seconds is pretty good, not gonna lie. Grandfather. Honestly, before the rework, I probably would have put it at an F to a D, but now, since there's actually a stun exclusion, I'd probably put it out to like mid C, because damage output is also pretty average. Yeah, give me a sec, I gotta check something. Okay, so Vaporizer. Where do I start with this? Okay, so most people think it's actually a bad prestige tower, but after 60 seconds on path B, it can do up to 126 million every minute. Not to mention it can go even higher than that because of the scale of damage. So I'd put this at like either high B or low A. The first upgrade's mainly for, like, the first path is mainly for just like a quick damage and that type of stuff. The second path is mainly for if you're trying to get a long build up on a certain enemy and you have to do a lot of damage to it and you don't have bleed towers. Scar would probably put on an S because, let's just be honest, the bleed stacks, which makes basically anything do millions of damage a second. Plus, the damage output's also not bad. 300 every 0.1 seconds. I'd say that's okay. Lucifer. In my opinion, Lucifer is just a combination of a marksman, sharpshooter, and a hellfire, so we have to put it all higher than that. Plus, it also has a blast radius. Sharpshooters don't have that. So, yeah, probably low A. I don't know how much the buff was after, so I probably put it up to, yeah, low A. Engineer. Okay, Engineer is a decent tower. It spawns drones that do 160 damage every, I don't even know. It's pretty fast, though. Balancing. Not to mention, the drones also take up, like, space, although it doesn't tell you that it takes up space, so... yeah, I'd say mid-high A. Okay, Sharpshooter. Since it has infinite range, that's already a plus. It does 9,000 damage every 6, 7, 4, 5, somewhere in there, seconds, and It can also do a tiny bit of a stun, so probably low B. I'll move the rest of these around later, and I'll explain why. Ray Gunner. To be honest, this would be as good as This would be better than Vaporizer if the damage did not cap. It is better than Vaporizer right now because the damage cap is like 100 million, 200 million, somewhere in there. But yeah, if there was no damage cap, this would easily be SS. So I probably put it on S, my bad, oops. Commandant can also reduce cooldown, so... And it can also buff your damage. So example, if you have a 0-2 at like max level on path 7B, which is the casual clothing, if you guys don't know what A and B means, that does a minus, well, it does like, oh god, I can't think today, minus 40% damage, I think, and then if you get the coordinator and the commandant together, it only does minus 5% damage, so yeah, it's pretty good. Golden Shotgunner. I mainly only use it just for armor destruction, because if you have it on path 7B, it attacks every 0.025 seconds, does 800 damage, has a radius of 12, and does an armor destruction percent of 65, so in my opinion, I put this at a high A, if not an S. One second, let me switch these around. If it lets me. Okay, Temple. I know this is a secret tower and everyone... Shrine. I know Shrine is a secret tower and everyone wants it, but not gonna lie, damage output looks pretty bad. There's 12... Okay, so here's the deal. On the path that Ivan usually goes, there's 12 beams. I think they do 800 damage a sec. 800 damage per beam, I think. And it also attacks like 0.25 or 0.3 or 0.4 seconds. So it is pretty good, but in my opinion, it's not as good as some of the other towers that you can get from it. Because example here, okay, let me explain. Striker, let's be honest, with the radiation buff, it stacks, causing it to buff every single tower in the game's damage for like a certain amount of time. If you have multiple of those, you can literally shred any boss that shows up, except for wave 69, as most of you guys know, that is stupidly hard. So I'd put this at probably a high S, because you literally cannot use any of the towers in-game to beat wave 69 without a striker if you're not doing less than 4 people. Heckler, easy, double S. It basically does 3.8 times the outcome of the bleed damage that Scar Path A does. Scar Path B is actually worse than Scar Path A, just gonna say that right now, because it doesn't attack as fast, so the bleed doesn't go up as fast. Okay, we got 0-2. I'm gonna put this at high B, because mainly for the reason that if you don't have good towers that have a high amount of damage and they attack really fast, it's not gonna really buffer that much. But example, if you have Mystic Heavy on there and there's like 20 max level Mystic Heavies, it's gonna make 0-2 do like 100, no, not 100, more like 2 million damage a shot-ish, somewhere around there. But yeah, so, but if you don't really have good towers, you can't really do anything with her. Okay, Her price is also really expensive when it comes to the max levels. It's 2.22 for 7A and then 3.003 for 7B. Plus her range is also really small, so I'd like either put her at a B or medium A. We got executive, does price reductions. I put him at medium high A. No, I don't think there's a reason that needs to be explained there. Honestly, I'm gonna put Mystic Heavy and SS mainly because of the reason that if you get enough of them, they can literally just kill an SC commander before they get to their first form. Well, second form, my bad. Because of how much damage output it does. Scrambler does a Purify ability. It's basically just a combination of a Bombarder and an Electrician, but a little better. So, probably put this at that. Plus the Purify also stacks on enemies, so every other tower can also do that much damage. I'm pretty sure that's what Wick explained. I have the tower, I just don't know how it works. I've used it several times before, and I'm still surprised I don't know how it works. But it does not stack with Striker. It cannot stack with Radiation Bleed. And Purify doesn't stack. We got Void Pistolman. Low B, mainly because of the reason that it's basically just an advanced version of Pistolman, but it also attacks like 2 times as fast as the Pistolman, and the damage output's like 5 times more. Silver Rogue I put at C-ish, high C. Mainly because of the reason that it only does 2-3 times the damage of a normal Rogue. And the range is a little bigger, but it still is pretty lag prone because of the particle effects it gives off. Mystic Heavy doesn't have that same outcome. I've tried it. It slows it down a little bit, but not as bad as Rogues do. Mercenary, honestly, I just don't like the tower. I put it, but I'm going to try not to be biased. The damage output is pretty nice. It's probably a low-ish C because of the damage output, and everyone seems to like the Thanos, so. Demo Expert, a lot of you will probably yell at me for this, but Demo Expert, that's the reason most games glitches out, because the Demo Expert places a bomb over the place where they get out, and one of the enemies gets blown up, but it doesn't count as a kill. So that's the reason why most games break, because the Demo Expert does it. Well, I have to speed up my class in a minute. Anarchist, B-ish, because armor destruction and it has a radius. And Bombarder, mid to high C because of how much damage output it does. Plus it also has a huge range and can attack very fast if it needs to. But yeah, this is my list for the game, and hopefully you guys take notes if you guys want to be late 69 ever. I'm kidding. Yeah, anyways, guys, have a fun